Listen, you was who you was when you got here or before you got here, however it go. Listen, understand something, man. Imposter syndrome, something a lot of people deal with, and a big question that always get asked is, do people deal with imposter syndrome? How do you deal with it? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How do you cope with it, right? The good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to imposter syndrome. Listen, on this journey, I done transformed. I done had, became a different person, developed different brands, rebranded myself. And throughout this whole journey, what I realized is I always become a different person, but adjusting to the new person that I've become versus the person I was uncomfortable at times. And so what I've now looked and what I've came to realize is that I had to be comfortable in dealing with this, but it was certain things and techniques that I utilized to become that person. Tonight, we're going to talk about it, the good, the bad, the ugly of imposter syndrome. Wealth therapy, y'all, let's go. Anything you want in this world is dependent on. Everybody wants to be wealthy. Everybody wants to get money, but why? I did 25 million the last 2 years. I come from nothing. You gotta move the earth. You gotta take action. You gotta act.
Some of y'all too scared to tell people, fuck you.
Ride big, ice big, nice crib. White fig started out just sweeping flows. Now Fat Boy the CEO.
Everybody want to stand out. You can't be the same and be different. You'll never be the best in your industry if you do what everybody else doing. You know you got the mindset. You know you got the ambition. It's just you haven't got the fuck up. Either I'ma do this shit and execute, or I'ma fucking die.
The talk is wealth, and them dripping sauce. This time we do for self.
I never knew getting money would affect me mentally.
How many of you guys want to be multi-millionaires and create a legacy and a brand? We ain't in this for clout. We out here to get money. It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker.
It's my wealth therapy.
Listen, y'all know the vibe. Y'all know what it is when we get started, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. If you look good, you feel good, you smell good, you perform good. Listen, y'all already know we always got a end of the day. We talking about imposter syndrome, man. Another 13 is what we on today by Loboto. Well, Le Labo, right? Another 13. This the joint. I don't know what camera I'm on. Might be on this one, but we on this one, right? Another 13. It's crazy because I done had this sitting in my closet, in my collection for a while, and one of my friends always wear it, and I always ask, yo, what you got on? He's like, bro, I got the same thing. You said you got it. And I'm like, it ain't smell the same. And I realized I wasn't letting it sit in. This one of them ones like you wear it, but it lingers. You got to let it sit. So when I first wore it, I wasn't a fan of it. But now I figured it out. And then also another reason I told him that it smelled different on you because your estrogen level is a little bit different. You know, my testosterone give off a different, you get it. But listen, that's the center of the day, though. This is what we rocking with. So y'all understand the vibes and how we operating. So listen, another 13 is descent. Why? We talking about imposter syndrome. So often we had this conversation, right? People talk about imposter syndrome. What's that like? What is it? How does it feel, right? And the other day, it was crazy because sometimes you don't realize like who you are or what you can become, or even if it's possible. And for myself, I feel like I'm the same person, right? And there's two different times where I realize that I'm not. And one time it's a good feeling when I'm in certain conversations and I show my intellect and I'm showing my brain, I'm showing what I know, and I'm having an intellectual conversation. And I impress myself sometimes, like, God damn, like, you a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then it's times like I'm walking in my house the other day and I went out, got the garbage cans. Yeah, I get my garbage cans, right? I'm bringing the trash in. I'm getting the garbage cans. 2 of them at one time. Bop, you know, double back. I'm pulling it in. I had to let one down because my neighbor rolled by and waved at me. And I made sure to wave back. So as I'm going in and as I waved to him, I thought about it. One of my friends told me, one of my guys, he has a real estate property and he rents from some Indian guy, real wealthy Indian guy. And the Indian guy was like, yeah, I live in Buckhead. He said, yo, Him500's my neighbor. You know him? And he was like, yeah, that's my bro. Like, he was like, for real? And he said the Indian dude was like super excited. He was like, but he never met you, but y'all neighbors. And so it made me think like, oh, okay, he's familiar with me, you know. So when people ride by my house, you know, I make sure I try to speak to my neighbors, at least in wave. But at this moment, when I realized that, is I was like, yo, let me make sure I wave because they know who I am. And, you know, just being initiating that level of camaraderie is like friendly gestures, but you never know like who I'm speaking to, right? But in that moment, I felt like a little boy. Like I remember the little kid, like, damn, bro, like I got to make sure I speak to people and wave to people because they familiar with me. They go talk to people and be like, yo, you know Him500? Like he's my neighbor. And I was like, when I was waving and I waved to a gentleman, it was an older white dude. I was like, damn, he looked excited to speak to like a little black kid from the hood. Like internally, that's what I felt like. I was a little black kid from the hood. And I was still the little boy that I was always growing up. You know what I mean? Like the little kid who don't got a dad. Like that's who I felt and who I felt like in that moment. Like, damn, this little boy. And I turn around and I just look at my house and I'm just like, fuck, like this little nigga did this. But internally, like I felt still like that little boy. Like I'm still that guy. I'm still that kid at the core. And in certain moments, like when it's just me and I'm doing something and it's just me, I'd be like, okay, you know, like people speak and I get in certain situations and it feels like, damn, bro, like you're that kid internally, you're the same person. And you never forget your upbringing or where you come from. It never leaves. It'll never leave. And that's what I'm starting to realize is that it'll never leave. I'll always be the kid from the hood, like who would feel like going places and going in certain rooms and environments and be like, we ain't supposed to be here. Like upscale restaurants and stuff we didn't frequent. That wasn't something we did. You know what I mean? And so like certain environments, I always remember feeling out of place sometimes, going in certain environments, going in certain situations, going to certain events. I would feel kind of out of place as a kid because I didn't feel like I belonged or this wasn't my normal setting. Like I knew my normal settings, football practice, the parks, basketball games, gyms, like this was my normal settings. But when it was time to like be professional or go into certain environments or going to meetings, and I remember I used to go to city council meetings with my mom and stuff, and I would be sitting there and we would do stuff for the city because she worked with the community, and I would just kind of be out of place, like looking at these people in suits and stuff like, and I would feel out of place, like a little kid, my Nike shorts, and I would feel a little out of place. But those are the moments that I say, like, I still sometimes get took back there. And then I gotta grab my nuts like, nigga, big dog, you got me fucked up. What's up? Right? But that's the reality, like where we deal with it. And then a lot of people deal with fighting that. But I've accomplished a lot and covered a lot of grounds to be who I am. And to get to this point to where it's like, I walk in rooms and it's like, people already know who I am. Or, you know, a certain way that I just expect to be treated. It don't matter if you know who I am or not. I now carry it a certain way of like how I just expect to be treated. And I stand on it because this is who I am. So when a lot of times as we coming up and we build it and we deal with something, like you start gaining success and it's like, yo, like, who you think you is? It's like, I think I'm the motherfucker that I've been. Like, I think I'm the same person that I worked my ass off to be. Like them sacrifices that I made, the sacrifices that you make to become who you are and what you desire to be. Like, celebrate your accomplishments. Like, celebrate it. Like, today is my day in Phoenix, Arizona. Today is Recession-Proof Day, right? I got a post I'm going to put up after Wealth Therapy. Today is Recession-Proof Day in Phoenix, Arizona. Nigga, celebrate that. Like, don't ever forget what you worked your ass off and how much you had to sacrifice to get to a point to where you got 26 chapters across the United States. And one of the chapters actually had the city name a day after you. These are moments and these are things that you worked for and you grinded for when you was up late at night, when you making sacrifices, blood, sweat, tears. Like, this is what you was working for, what you was grinding for. This is what you put your brain into. This is what you put your effort into. It has become bigger than what you thought it was, because I was bigger than what I thought I was ever going to be. See, this became bigger than I thought it was because I didn't think that who I felt I was really can transpire, right? Let me rephrase that. This has became bigger than what I thought it was because I was bigger than I imagined I could be. My brain wasn't grasping the concept of who I really was. But my work and my ability to work, my ability to stay focused, the world showed me, nah, you bigger than what you expected. You bigger than your dreams and the goals that you personally set. Them goals you set, that wasn't enough. God has something different in store for you. The universe has something different in store for you. So now I look and I go, man, like, this is crazy. Like, am I supposed to be here? Is this real? Like, is this forever? And am I tricking myself? Am I playing myself? Like, and I had to realize, like, these are things that I go through. Like, man, like, is this real? Can this really happen for me? And being here now, I'm like, shit real. Like, we can have more. It's not, oh, set goals and dreams and work for it and you might be able to accomplish it. No, you can accomplish it. Just along the journey is how you deal with it, right? And understand that that's the things that we deal with on this journey. Is like accomplishing the things that we desire, saying, yo, it doesn't always have to be money based. And that's one of the biggest things that I pride myself on, is that, listen, it don't got to be money based. It could be impact based. It could be love based. It could be friendship based. It could be personal growth based. Like, my growth has not been based strictly off of money. A lot of it has been money though, right? I'm recession-proof. What I'm supposed to do? All right. We get money. I'm a businessman, all right? But I base my principles off of me growing, off how I control myself. And that's the thing, is like being able to realize that, like when I was walking out there, like I felt like a little boy. And I don't even know really how to put that in context, but I felt like the kid in me was coming out. Like, damn, y'all waving at me. And then I look and be like, this is my house. Like, a part of me be like, they probably think I work here or something. Like, that type of shit. Like, that type of internal, like, I don't even know if, like, imposter syndrome type shit. Like I be walking, I be going to, like, the UPS man or woman or somebody be dropping the mail off. I'll go get the package or the Uber Eats, and I'll be like, damn, I wonder if they think I work here or if they notice my house. Right? That type of shit. Like, and it's like, nigga, the fuck is you talking about? Like, what do you see? Like, who do you see yourself as? Like, or who do you think you are, or how you carry yourself to think that somebody would think that you work here? Like, you don't even carry that kind of energy to, like, you know, like, I'm not the most, how can I say, down to earth person. All right. I'm not the most humble person, if that's a word, right? Down to earth, if that's the right word to go with. But I am the most humble person. Like, I am the most graceful person. Like, I'm super graceful and carry myself with poise and humility. But at the same time, I got a level of confidence to myself of that I've always had, right? But even knowing that, you see how I'm kind of going back and forth. Like, this is literally what I deal with. Like, and I think that sometimes we look and go, how do we deal with it? And what I started to realize is that just understand that it's a part of who I am. And then realize, like, yo, when do I notice moments when that shit disappears? Get me in a conversation and we get to talking about life. We get to talking about business, and I got to show my intellect, and I get to breaking things down and having a conversation. And I start showing, like, I had a conversation last night in Phoenix. Let's go into the Phoenix. They asked me about family and different things like that. And they was like, yo, how do you feel we can better build a foundation? Like, what's some of the key principles for building a foundation for our next generation, right? And I said, the thing is that stop allowing and thinking in our community, we have a mindset that my kid's gonna be successful. I'm gonna make sure they go to school, right? This is what, like, I seen growing up. Like, you gonna go to school, like, you gonna be something. Like, you're not gonna sit at home and not be shit. Like, we ain't going for that. You gonna go to school and you're gonna be something. Make sure you get good grades, and this is what it is. And that's some of the biggest, dumbest bullshit that I ever could look back on and think about. Like, motherfuckers tell somebody, yo, you're gonna be something because you're gonna go to school, you're gonna study, you're gonna work hard, you're gonna be something. Cool, what I'm gonna be? I don't know, but you're gonna be something. Nigga, I'm gonna be what you are. Or else it's gonna be hard as fuck for me to build out of that. So whatever you are, most likely I'm gonna be that. Why? Because you got experience that this is the experiences that I will have. This will be my hands-on life experience, work experience, being you, motherfucker. That's what it is. Huh? Well, what you mean? Deion Sanders' son are successful because they go into a field where their dad has experience. Their dad has relationships, resources, a reputation, hands-on experience where he can walk them into this industry. They're 10 steps up. Some people be like, oh, I don't want a silver spoon. I'm gonna get it out on my own. That's the dumbest shit. And why do I explain it that way? You gain resources, you gain things in life, resources, relationships to make your life easier, to clear out a path. It's a jungle out here. If I clear out a path, my cubs is coming behind me. I'm not clearing out a path for my cubs to go clear their own out. After I done took all these lickings to get this far, you now, guess what? You know everything it takes. I may get too old, but now you get to keep going. I'm not going to reset. So the biggest issue when they say, yo, building a foundation, the foundation is set based off of what we do, and we have to realize more is caught than is taught. So we have to actually identify what we're going to do, who we're going to be, and tell our ones coming behind us what the fuck they going to be and what they going to do. It's not, oh, you figure it out, whatever your passion is. Passion is nuts. It's certain principles, it's certain principles, it's certain things that's going to be instilled, it's certain skill sets that I'm going to naturally instill in you, and in certain industries that you're going to have to learn, and things that you're going to have to do. I'm an entrepreneur, so mine's a little bit more vast. If I was a doctor, my kids would be doctors. Some way, some shape or form, they most likely will be doctors. Why? Because I have relationships with doctors. I understand doctor school. I understand how to actually maneuver in this industry. I have great relationships to help you get jobs. I have great relationships and resources to help you excel, knowing what school to go to, knowing exactly how to go through it and how to navigate this system. But we don't look at us as the foundation and hold ourselves accountable. And then it says, well, yeah, that's why I'm a grind and get it. Okay, but grinding and get it. And this is what it started. And I started realizing, I said, grinding and getting it is not just the only thing. It's grinding, getting it, and showing the ones coming behind you by example, the foundation. The foundation is not set by what you go out and build. It's by what they actually see you do. My children see me every single day. I'm busy. I'm moving. I'm doing something. I got something going on. They see me traveling. They see me in and out the house. They see me Wednesday. Yesterday, I'm back and forth to Phoenix yesterday. Tonight, I'm back here live on Wealth Therapy. Got up this morning, had team meetings on my phone. They may not see those team meetings, but they know, hey, my dad always got something going on. Guess what? My kids, activities throughout the week. Throughout the week, they always got activities, Kumon, different programs, workouts, fitness. They got 4 or 5 activities throughout the week after school. Why? Because they're going to understand a naturally busy life. You want to know why people are like, oh, let your kids just do nothing. Motherfucker, because you do nothing. And your lazy ass is okay doing nothing. But guess what? I know the benefits that come from me actually doing something. I've identified what being busy looks like, especially when it's actually in a beneficial way. Where, okay, health, okay, when it's extracurricular learning, whether it's a sport, activity, constantly staying busy. Why? Because then this has just naturally become a part of your life. You don't ever wake up and think, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do nothing today. Oh yeah, it's been a whole week, I did nothing. No, that shit's not, it won't be in their DNA. They'll be like, I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm supposed to be doing something. I look at it from my experience. I'm not here on accident. My mom used to go to work, and when my mom went to work, she would get off work and she would cash her check. When she would cash the check, she would come home and we would sit on the bed and count it. But then she would break it down where the money had to go. I got to visually see it. What I did not see is that she also would go to the credit union to go to a bank, cash a check at her bank, and then put it into her credit union and pay everything through the credit union. And I'm like, okay, But I see the difference. Okay, you got a bank account and you also got your Bank of the West and you had Schools Credit Union. So we had two different banks, but this is banking and credit union. I got to see it's two different ones. So, okay, you pay over here. This is where you deal with credit and, this is, where you deal like credit cards and stuff like that was with the credit union. Oh, okay, they give better credit cards. Got it. I'm 12 years old. No cap, 6th grade. I started understanding this. I started looking, but then she would break her checks down. And I know she didn't tell me we didn't have money. No, we got money. I never felt poor. It was never I'm broke. It was never that. It was I ain't got it this week because the money got to go here. This is where the money gets allocated to. And I go, okay. So this is how you make, this is where the money goes. This week, second week, third week, we got extra. Okay, cool. This is when I go get my clothes. This is when I go get my shoes. This is when I go get my t-shirts, my Staffords and my fitted cats. I know when I'm getting fresh. I know I'm going to get a pair of kicks, the Air Force Ones, a pack of Staffords. Like the third week, I knew I was going to get me some shoes, some white tees, right? Yeah, I know what it is. Okay, then she would take out my lunch money. Cool, because I'm taking $5 a day. Okay, cool, I got it. But she showed me where the money went. That also helped me understand money management. I understood where money goes, budgeting. It showed me hands-on what happens. Most people have kids and it's just like, I'm broke. Well, nigga, why? Where the fuck did the money go? You went to work. Where the fuck the money at? Okay. You didn't explain it to him. My mom caught the bus to work, came home in an Escalade with a pink slip. How this work? You caught the bus. Like my brother went to college. You gave him the car. You was catching the bus to work for like 2 weeks. Shit was slick embarrassing for me as a kid. I'm like, damn, like, it is what it is. She came home in an Escalade and we had bought our house. But when she bought the house, she got added onto the deed. Added onto the deed. Then what she did was she refied it. And when she refied it, she took the first person off the deed, paid them off, but she refied the car into the mortgage. Now, guess what? The mortgage went up $30 to $60. On the car outright, got the pink slip to it. I'm learning this at 14. This is why I say more is caught than is taught. I'm understanding, learning business, learning how money works. I wasn't learning by my mom telling me what the fuck to do. I learned by watching my mom do the shit and let her include me in it. So as we build it and we talk about like the imposter syndrome and the different things and identity crisis that we go through, understand something is that as you're identifying yourself and you building yourself and you finding yourself, guess what? Include the people around you. I don't care if it's your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your kids, your nieces, your nephews, include them into it. Why? Because more is caught than is taught, especially with your children. Why? Because now guess what? They get to see firsthand and go, oh, whether they know it or not, you can't take it back. My mom she's never taught me these lessons. She's never said, I'm telling you this because I want you to do this when you get older. She was including me in it. That was the best way to teach me. Look at me now. It's literally more is caught than is taught. What happens is that I learned as I grew and I taught, and then go back into the imposter syndrome, is that this is the point where I start to see who the fuck I am. I start to see who I've grown into, who I've grown to become. And that's when I'm confident in who I am as a man and myself. Like, nah, like, you didn't figure it out a lot. You understand a lot. You got a different scope on life. You're able to see things through a different lens that a lot of us need to be able to see it through. And I have to tell my message, whether even if it's business, different strategies when I'm talking to people, how to approach business, how to do things. I see it and be like, you've earned the title, you've earned the reputation, you've earned the name that you've actually developed and grown, you've earned the wealth that you've built, you've earned it from growing into that person that you've been trained and groomed up to be and who you knew who you could become. Sometimes you may still feel like that little boy is cool, but at other times I realize who I am. I realize my value. I realize how strong I am as a person. One of the dopest things that I wanted to do as a kid growing up, I used to always I did debate class and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I remember I went down junior year. It was my junior year. I went to Hollywood High. I moved with my brother in LA. I went to Hollywood High for a little bit. And I was like, damn, I went to a new school. I said, I'm going to study abroad one day. said, I'm gonna study abroad one day. And I was like, I'm gonna go to Paris. No cap. That's where I wanted to go. I was like, that's where I'm gonna go. Like, I wanna, like, my daughter learns French because I wanted to know French. That's what I was like, yo, it's dope. I never did that. I never got to experience that. That's one of the things that I look back in my life. Like, I never got to pledge. I never got to go into, like, I wanted to go to an HBCU. I wanted to pledge. I wanted to study abroad. Like, these are things that I always desired, that I always wanted. I didn't accomplish those things, right? And so still, like, I look at people who do, and I salute it, because those are things that's like, it's commendable, that I looked at and I respected, that I like and I admire. Like, I admire everybody who pledges. I admire everybody who went to the HBCUs and got that experience, because it's something that I lacked. But one thing that I do realize is that, okay, these are things that I've seen that could have added to me. So when I look at my contributions now, I got a niece that literally went over to France, studied abroad. The program presented itself. I fought for the shit like I was her. Like, nah, you gonna go. We're not taking a break. We're going. She spent her 21st birthday overseas studying, right? At 21, going to Paris for the first time. I didn't go to Paris till I was 30 something, right? But I look at it and go, as you start to set out and you think about everything that you want to become, and who you are and who you were and some of the things that you want, as you work and you become a bigger person and a better person, you grow, you present more opportunities, you realize that you carve out a path for other people. Even if you weren't the one who set out to get what you wanted, you still carve that path out for those coming behind you. So it's never like, oh man, I wanted to go do this and I didn't do it. Does not mean that you don't continuously grind on your path to become who you want to become. Because I didn't do it does not mean that it's done. Guess what? I got to live through somebody else that's going to take this further than I can take it. Why? Because I'm already clearing the path out to make it easier. The opportunities are now presented. Guess what? My daughter is 11 years old next year. She's going to study abroad. She didn't 10x. I didn't shave 10 off my daughter for my niece. She going to goddamn Japan, to Tokyo, to study for 14 days. Like, I'm literally shaving off years and decades off the opportunities that I first seen, that I thought that I wanted for myself, that I wasn't, that because of the environment that I came out of, because of circumstances that I came up in, but I was able to see things that I wanted because the environments and circumstances that did get presented to me made me want more and can see more. And as long as I could see it, I was like, I want it, but damn, I couldn't have it. But it was things I could have, and I went and got that shit. And the shit that I got and went and got now presents opportunities for those coming behind me. Those the moments when I'd be like, nah, nigga, you ain't that little boy no more. You big dog. It ain't that. But still in the moment, I'll walk in my house and be like, I wonder if they know I own this motherfucker. Like, yo, bro, you don't got nothing to prove. Like, and you feel like that sometimes. Like, I'll be in an environment. Like the other day, I went out to a restaurant. It's crazy. I went to my man's restaurant at that. And I just pulled up. And I was like, you know what? I'm not calling or nothing. I'm just going to go in. Walk in, hoodie on. Boom. They like, oh, we ain't got no booths available. I'm like, look around. And some days I could be on my bullshit. But I'm like, you know what? I look at wifey. I'm like, I told her, it's cool. Put me at the bar. I sit at the bar. It's all good. Sat at the bar, and my food took a while to come out. And I'm like, yo, I've been here like 45 minutes. Like, yo, where my food at? They don't know. They ain't playing me like I'm nobody. It's just I'm chilling. I have my hood on. I'm sitting there. I'm like, yo, like, I'm gonna go get the manager. Manager come. She like, They bring the food out and my order was wrong. I'm like, dude, you gotta be bullshit. Like, I'm already sitting at the bar, waiting hell long for my food. Then my food come out wrong. And then she come on and she like, I'm like, yo, like, you know, like, what's the deal? And you could tell they kind of felt like my energy pressed them a little bit. And they was like, nah, you know, we apologize. Like, what you want me to do? You want me to take something off the bill? I'm like, nigga, take something off the bill? Like, you know the fuck I am? I'll buy my motherfucking food and leave it. Like, buy everybody food this motherfucker just on the strength of the holiday season. Like, what are you talking to? Like, I don't give a fuck about the bill. I want my food. I'm hungry, right? But I caught myself in that moment, like, yo, relax, like. And this is in moments, it's like sometimes you catch it and be like, humbling to go control yourself, understand who you are, understand you've been blessed. And in the moment, I'm like, nah, I'm not worried about taking nothing off my bill. I just want good service. I just want the food that I got. So they end up fixing it, boom. And, you know, I spoke to my guy and he was like, yo, bro, listen, you don't understand what's been going on today with the, but I say that to say it's like, in certain moments, I catch myself of being like, what? Like, I'm entitled to something. You know who I am? Like, those are the things that kind of piss me off. And I'd be like, I try to control that the most of like, nah, bro, relax. Like, understand that everybody in every situation, how to handle situations, good, bad, ugly, no matter what, because of who you are and because of certain experiences that I've had now and certain ways that I've been treated in environments and certain environments, how I can go in somewhere and get treated. Because I'm a fan of, like, one of my sayings is I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. Like, 100%. I'm going to go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. I don't want to be nowhere at this point in my life. I don't want to go places where I'm tolerated. Like, oh, okay, like you here, like, you just hear, no. Celebrate me. I want to be celebrated. I want to feel celebrated. I go to certain restaurants frequently. Why? Because the people know me there now. They know me. They treat me well. They know what I want to eat. I want to go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. And so sometimes when I go out of that space, it'd be like, yo, sit your happy ass at the bar and see what happens. And I did. And I was like, I should make a phone call, right? But these are the things that kind of help me realize, like, yo, listen, you got to have your ups and downs. You got to have for your personality, like, yo, who I am, who I'm becoming, certain things, and get the experience and say, like, I get to check it at a level of like petty bullshit. Like, check your petty bullshit because you feel like I should be treated a certain way. And I don't know. Like, check your petty side. Raise that, catch your humble side when you're feeling less than. Sometimes you and then identify when you up there and you're operating in your peak optimal space of who you are. When I'm operating at my optimal space, realize and identify that this is why I am who I am. This is why, because of the grace that I have, of the information, the knowledge, and the humility, and my ability to think and make wise decisions from the choices and experiences that I've been through. Realize that it ain't fake. It ain't, oh man, do I really belong here? You belong here because you put yourself here. You didn't get here overnight. You didn't get here on accident. You won't ever you didn't get where you're at, no matter what stage you're at in your life. You didn't get there on accident. I'm going to tell you something right now. If I can't tell you nothing else, if you write this down, and I need y'all to take this to heart, because this is one thing that I don't want y'all to forget. Everything you got, you worked for. Everything you got, you worked for. Everything you have, everything you don't have, you worked for. That's it. Everything you got, you worked for. If you could live with that mindset and understand that one concept in life, you'll always be straight. I always understand that. Everything I got in life, I worked for. What do that mean? Everything I got in life, I worked for. Felony, congratulations, dumbass, you worked for it. You got it. Homeless, you worked for it. Cars, you worked for it. The money I got now, you worked for it. The family I got now, I worked for it. Every good, bad, or ugly, everything I have, I worked for it. And so did you. And everything that you don't have, you ain't worked for it yet. You're working for it. You may want it, you may desire it, but you ain't worked for it yet. You still got more work to do. targets, bigger mountains to climb, bigger goals to set. But whatever it is that you have, that's what you work for. Oh man, I'm struggling right now. Life ain't the best. Cool. This is what you work for. You work to get into this circumstance. These are the circumstances that yield the work you've done. And some of y'all gonna be like, hell yeah. Some of y'all gonna be like, hell nah. It's their fault. Somebody wronged me in life, and that's why I'm in this position. I know what I worked for, and I deserve better. Nope. You deserve everything that you have because this is what you work for. Maybe you got to change the kind of work that you're doing. Maybe it ain't the physical work. Maybe it's the internal work. Maybe it's the mental work. Maybe it's the physical work. Sometimes we don't realize like how much our physical helps to control everything else in our life. How we feel, how we talk, how we smile, how we go about our day, when we wake up, what we think, what we say, what we do, what we eat, what we drink. It all matters. Whatever it is that you do, you work for it. But and it's easy to say when you get to a good point. It's hard to say when you're in a bad point. Like I be in bad situations and be like, dumbass, you did this shit yourself. Like you did this. I got a speeding ticket, got arrested. I'm a multi-million-dollar nigga. My bed cost $30,000. I'm sitting on cement. Ain't that what I said? Congratulations, dumbass. You work for this. Taking a car and doing 180 up the freeway. You work for it. But at least you work for this and you didn't work for a grave. Because you could have you could have did enough work to put your dumb ass in a grave. Congratulations, you got your ass in handcuffs. You're embarrassed, ain't you? Yep, you feel like a bozo. Yep. Now you got to go deal with this. You got to go deal with somebody else because you want to speed and race a car. Well, I bought a sports car. Like supercars is like, oh, supercars. You think about it like sports cars. I got the McLaren, we got Lambos, all these cars. When you really get in that car, it's like a sports car. It brings a little boy out you, especially like when we first got it, right? Yeah, gotta understand. Like I'm gonna talk about that situation later. I'll tell y'all about that, right? But it's really like a sports car. Like it's like vroom, you like it's a different kind of feeling. And I'm an adrenaline junkie. Boom, I'm out. I realized that, yo, bozo, this is what you work for. You did it. Whatever comes about, you did it. Just pray you can bounce back and you're going to be all right. That's it. But you did it. Now, eat that stack lunch, that turkey sandwich, that bologna sandwich, cheese and mustard, and shut your bitch ass up until you go home. Because this is what you work for, nigga. You work for a bologna sandwich. Now you in here eating a bologna and cheese sandwich because you're hungry than a motherfucker. And some cookies. Cool. You know what I did? I ate the bologna sandwich. The cookies. And dealt with what I dealt with because I worked for it. Realized I got some shit to fix. Fix it. Now control it and don't let it happen again. Stop fucking around. I'm human. We all gonna have things that come in our life. We all gonna have missteps. We all gonna have downfalls. It don't matter if the downfall is for a month. It don't matter if it's for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. It does not matter. What matters is when we start to realize that we got to self-reflect and self-correct. When you self-correct and realize and self-assess the mistakes that you've made and take accountability for them and say, okay, this is what I did wrong in this situation. And this is what I contributed to my downfall and to my hard times and to the work that I put in to put me where I'm at now. And this is the different kind of work that I'm going to do to change it. Oh, the game changed. I don't know. I feel like I'm preaching. Somebody hear me. I hope somebody hear me. It don't matter if it's been 1 year, 2 years, or 10. It's not over. What happens is you got to realize that I'm going to self-reflect into myself and look at it and go, you know what? I did this. But this is what I need to do to fix it because it's more than I want. Everybody don't want to be a millionaire. Everybody don't want millions of dollars. But are you happy? What do you have to do what makes you happy in life? It doesn't matter if it's to go and be able to travel once a year, twice a year. Some people just want to be able to buy Christmas for their kids. What do you have to do to make that to accomplish your goal? What work do you have to put in? See, don't look at it and say, oh man, I got to go buy a private jet because Him500 got a private jet. Nah, I got to have mansions, Rolls Royces, Lambos. No, that's not the case. It's okay. Some people, you got to put enough work in. You need a brand new Nissan. You need a brand new crib, 350,000, new build. And you good. Stainless steel appliances. Like I remember getting a $250,000 crib, brand new build, stainless steel appliances. Happy as hell. I felt bad because I couldn't get the refrigerator with the TV on it, right? But this is literally where I was at. But I was happy as hell. I was accomplished. But that's what I had worked for at the time. And you want to know something? I loved it. I still love it. I love that house more than the house I'm in now. Because that house gave me my pride, my confidence to continuously work. And that was my first token of like, this is something that's tangible that you worked for, that you've accomplished, that you now have, that you own, that here, this is yours. Maintain this. Maintain this level of life. Maintain this level. Like this house is like, maintain this lifestyle in this community. We was in a nice community, new subdivision. And it's like, this is my ground floor that I now have to maintain. I remember walking through the neighborhood with my daughter in their power wheel and carrying my other little one. Then them riding their bikes through the neighborhood, teaching them how to ride bikes in this neighborhood. Like I felt accomplished, and this was like, okay, I got to maintain this life for the rest of my life. I'm coming out of apartment projects and coming through the struggle. I'm just now climbing back out after I went through my downtime. So now I'm working, building my business and grinding it out. This is where I was at. But it meant everything to me. None of this happens without the work that I put in there, but I appreciated that. I didn't say, oh yeah, I got this, but I want more. No, I got this. I want to maintain this. I got to a level where I'm financially secure. We got a house that we own. My daughter was born into a house that we own. I'm happy with this. I'm accomplished. I'm not done, but let me foundation set, boop, sealed in, compacted, appreciated. Let's continuously build. But that's where we got to be at. So whatever it is, like, cool. You on a bus right now? Let's just get you a car. Like, it ain't, oh man, I can't wait to get me a Lambo. Like, nah. It's a lot of work you got to do to get there. It's a lot of work you got to do. Mentally, physically, financially. It's a lot of things you got to overcome to get into that point. Can it happen 100%? Will it happen 100% if you work for it? But you just got to make it make sense as you do it and realize that, because this is also one of the things that help you overcome the imposter syndrome. When you try to skip steps and skip being and leave chapters out. Leave things out like, oh, I'm not going to go through my struggle. I'm not going to go through my slow point. I'm not going to go through, I want a Hellcat, but I had to get the Charger with the V6 first. It's okay. Put the pipes on there. Hey, listen. Get it how you live, my boy. Right? Just be yourself and understand that, like, when I say be yourself, be true to where you're at in life in that realm and concrete that in. You got a business, your business just started, you doing 50,000 a year, 60,000 a year, 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, whatever it is. Be excited, appreciate it. Make this the foundation and figure out, how do I concrete this in? Not, okay, I got this and I'm just going to leave it like it's normal and I'm going to keep shooting for something higher. Concrete this in with the level that you at. Every time you go to a new level, concrete it in, because what happens is that you want to appreciate it, understand it, and grasp everything that you did to get here to make sure that you keep doing these things and these things become natural habits so you can then grow further and grow further and grow further. So when you look back down, it wasn't, oh man, you skipped all these lessons and you get here and then you realize that you a fucking idiot. You just built some shit, but you stupid because you didn't concrete these lessons in. Oh, you didn't learn humility. You didn't learn budgeting. You didn't learn what was actually taking what it took to build. You didn't appreciate that first house you had, the car you had. You didn't appreciate it. You didn't realize what you did to get it. Oh, so you think that it's just gonna keep coming? Okay, you didn't realize the habits that you were doing that allowed you to get here. Oh, you thought it was just gonna just keep spiraling in those habits. You wouldn't have to stand on those habits. Cool, got it. Whop, and life gonna slap you. The game gonna always check game. Whop, there you go. Here, get it right. No. Life has allowed you to walk through certain doors. Appreciate the doors that you've walked through. Realize what doors you've walked through. Realize what it took to walk through those doors. Appreciate it. Analyze it. Concrete that in and know, like, listen, these are the principles and some of the things that I got to maintain, stand on, even if I know they're behind me and I don't got to do that no more. Don't forget. This is where this is the thing where, so you get to a certain point when you look back and I have conversations, I can see my intellect. I can see how wise I am. I can see how creative I am. And it comes from my experiences. It comes from the things that I've already done, but it comes from the things that I appreciate about myself. It comes from identifying good, bad, and ugly things about myself. That is super important. So I just want you always to be mindful of that. It's like, yo, listen, as you build and as you going, those things matter. Like, it's super important. And so you always got to remember that. You're going to go and become somebody bigger than what you ever thought you could be. Like, imagine that, like you becoming bigger than what you thought you could be. Literally, like, and I just say it like we had this conversation about imposter syndrome. So often people think who they are, what they are, is scary. Like, it becomes scary. Like, it becomes scary because you don't see it. You don't see what other people see. Like, I deal with that. I had a conversation with my wife the other night. And I said, I know who I am, but sometimes I don't see what other people see because I don't know my impact. I have people that come that I've met and they go, yo, nah, I've been able to do multiple six figures in business. Bro, I was homeless before. Bro, I was doing bad, and some of the things that you taught me helped me get out. Some of the mindset things you talk about helped me overcome things. And I just think, like, damn, I remember sitting in the room with Eric Thomas. Hearing people tell him that, and remember listening to him talking about you got to want it as bad as you want to breathe, listening to his different speeches on YouTube. And I would just listen to him talk. I would listen to ET talk. And I'd be at work and I listen to music and I listen to ET. I listen to music. I go find some videos from ET. To sit in the room. Remember when I first got in the room with ET and I was in his mastermind and I'm just sitting there going, damn, this is Eric Thomas. Like, I remember him walking in, what's up? You know, we talking, you know, and I'm like, damn, I want to get a picture. I'm like, I got to get the pic. I ain't leaving without the pic. Like, I'm down there here for the pic. Like, I remember how it felt. To now, I see people come in rooms with me and they just come in and they want the pic. Like, yo, I got to get the pic, bro. In the moment, I look at it and be like, damn, bro, there's so many opportunities here. But all you want is the pic. But it's not the pic. The opportunity is not there. They've already experienced so much from me, from their experience that I didn't experience. See, their experience with me was right now in wealth therapy. They had experiences with me in Recession-Proof, in the university, the lessons, the things that they learn, different mastermind, different Instagram lives, different content that I put out. They've already had these experiences where it's like, nah, I'm learning from you. I'm getting poured into constantly. You don't know it. I'm just here to celebrate the physical, to be here in the physical. I get the spirit. Your spirit is already passed to me. I already get the game. I already get the love. I already get the information. When I see you in person, bro, I need that pick. Fuck that. I need the pick. I realize that, but these are things that I put a video out before because I corrected a girl, like about, I told her to take my phone number and she took the pic. But I explained to her the importance of that. But I also, me explaining that to her, the reason I put the content out is because I also want people to see the context of like, don't miss those moments all the time. Every time is not a time where you shoot a shot getting the phone number. Sometimes it is the moment you got to go get the pic. But in some moments you got to realize like, so let me slow down and hurry up. If I got an opportunity to present or something, how do I capitalize on that moment? But these are things that help me become like, I can look back in my first time being in the room with ET to the point now, like this my guy, like this is my mentor still, that I can text him, I can call him. Yo, E, I need you. Yo, E, this is going on in my life. Like, I don't know how I feel. He like, well, explain it to me, what you see, what you feel. And he'll come in and, and he'll just talk me through stuff, certain situations. He tell me, listen, I ain't here to be y'all financial dude. I ain't here to tell y'all how to get money. Y'all done figured out how to go get the money. But I'm your spiritual coach. You call E when you ain't feeling right, your spirit ain't right, you things is going on in the world, your marriage. You call me. I'm here for y'all, bro. Like, I've been through this. I've been in this game. I've been in exposure. I've been out in the light for a long time, a real long time. I'm who you call to help with your life when it comes to your spirit, right? When it comes to your spiritual relationship, when it comes to God, like, come talk to me. I'm here for you to be that. And that's so valuable to me now. But the first time we got in the room, I didn't care about none of that. I'm trying to get this pick, my boy. What's up? I remember we came in, he talked, and then everybody broke for lunch and everybody was eating and he kind of was talking to everybody and everybody was kind of getting food. I didn't know what to say. I ain't had nothing to say. Can I get the pick, my boy? I'm trying to figure out a way to be like, hey, yo, I don't give a fuck if I'm the first one or not. I'm trying to get that pick. I got going a little bit. I booked my flight out early. I'm finna have to leave. My boy, I'm gonna need that pick. Did I know the relationship would turn into what it turned into? No. I'm happy that I'm wise enough and mature enough now to be able to look back, have enough opportunities to get in the room with him, develop a solid relationship so he can see who I am, understand me as a person, and then we can build and grow from there. But at one point, it wasn't that. But my point, and the reason why I'm circling back on that is that I look at who I was and who I've become. I know what it's like to be in the rooms and be inspired by people. And sometimes you're not going to know who you inspire. I may not know how I inspire you. I may not know what my contribution to you is. I don't know if you watch Wealth Therapy every Wednesday, if it's your first episode watching Wealth Therapy. I don't know what topic it is one week that I'm going to hit on something that's going to be like, yo, nah, this changed everything for me. But you have a relationship with me. And sometimes when we get to see each other and get to meet people in person, I'm wise enough now because of my experiences that I know every interaction that I have with people count, because it may be my 10th interaction in the daytime with people, but it's your first interaction ever with me. And I would never want to strip that from somebody. Like, man, the first time I met Him500, he was an asshole. It's like, nah, I don't ever want it to be that. Well, how do you get to that point to really understand that you don't get tired or burnt out or irritated by people? And I go, no. I may be tired. I may get burnt out sometimes, but I'm never to a point where it's like, yo, I'm unhappy or don't realize my blessing of what I worked for. This is what I worked for. So at any time, I remember I was a kid seeing Garrison-Hurst. He didn't speak to me. I mean, he spoke to me, but he wouldn't sign my ball. I walked to him for like 30 minutes by ourselves. It was just me and him. We didn't walk. I'd have walked him all the way back to the locker room. He just refused to give me a signature, or autograph. For the rest of my life, it's like, yo, you had the opportunity to do something. Like, he was one of my favorite football players. Like, I'm super diehard 49er fan. I'm at the training camp. Garrison-Hurst was like, he was my guy. And after that, it was fuck him. Still till today, it's like, fuck Garrison-Hurst. Like, I walked with you all the way through it. I was a kid. Like, that experience tainted. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. I don't know. But in my book, my experience with you wasn't great. So I walked with you all the way back. Wouldn't sign my football. It's just me and you. You refused to sign it. I remember Jerry Rice coming through signing and Steve Young signing. I had everybody's signatures. The only one I was missing was Garrison-Hurst, and this was like my guy. Like, I had Morton Hanks. Like, this was my guy. I'm like, yo, I skipped everything. I'm like, yo, I'm out of the line. I seen him cut through and walk through the back. Oh, got him. I'm out. I go walk with him. He wasn't signing. That was my experience with him. Does that mean that it was bad? No, he probably had 50 experiences that day with other people trying to get autographs, and he wasn't doing autographs. Does that change my feeling towards him? No. It's still fuck him. It is what it is. Why? Because that's how I felt. I was hot. I felt since a kid, still just, nah, bro, you ain't rock with me. Like, you could have signed it. But that was my experience with him. So I always play back with, when I see and meet people, I be like, nah, I don't want to Garrison-Hurst him. I meet you in person. Listen, I'm talking. I'm going to listen, interact the best I can. We got to connect. The gram, cell, whatever it is, I'm here because I don't know how much you've connected with me that I haven't seen yet. These are things that I realize, like, when you talk about, like, yo, do you see who you are, what you become? Like, nah. But I'm mature enough to reflect back on experiences I've had that affected me, that makes me not ever want to do those things. And that's part of the same thing. Is like, I start to self-analyze, like, my own growth. So you have to analyze your own growth. When we're talking about imposter syndrome and all of these different things, like, analyze your growth, analyze where you've grown to, analyze who you've become, analyze your strong points, analyze some of your weaknesses. But just realize everything that you're going to want in life is what you're going to have to work for, y'all. Listen. Wealth therapy, imposter syndrome. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope something clicked with you. Some part of this message helped you. But it's a wrap, y'all. Let's go. Anything you want in this world is dependent on. Everybody wants to be wealthy. Everybody wants to get money. But why? I did 25 million the last 2 years. I come from nothing. You gotta move with urgency. You gotta take action. You gotta act.
Some of y'all are scared to tell people, fuck you.
Ride big, ice big, nice crib. White fig started out just sweeping flows. Now Fat Boy the CEO.
Everybody want to stand out. You can't be the same and be different. You'll never be the best in your industry if you do what everybody else doing. You know you got the mindset. You know you got the ambition. It's just you haven't got the fuck up. Either I'ma do this shit and execute, or I'ma fucking die.
The talk is wealth, and them dripping sauce. This time we do for
I
self.
never knew getting money would affect me mentally.
How many of you guys want to be multi-millionaires and create a legacy and a brand? We ain't in this for clout. We out here to get money. It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker.
It's my wealth therapy.